Yesterday I cooked it sausage and chips, and the day before that baked beans on toast. And today I've boiled it an egg. But it still won't eat. Come on, Mummy's home. Just one little spoonful.
XP, I think we need a little talk. See, when I said look after my plant, I just meant give it some water.
Ah, you see, I thought you meant, feed it.
No, plants don't eat the same food as we do.
What do they eat, then?
Well, I'm not too sure, but I know egg and chips isn't on their menu.
Just look at my plant.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's going to take a bit of looking after. And after my weekend school trip, so am I. Do you know, we only had cold water to wash in, and the food they made us eat, it was disgusting. Anyway, I suppose I better start unpacking now.
Well, what about your plant?
Oh, don't worry about that. It'll live. I'll see to it tomorrow. Thanks anyway, XP. I mean, you did your best.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I know. I'll get you a new plant. A really special one with flowers and leaves and everything. I'll have what you just did. You know, a thingy, a trip up.
No, I think you mean you'll go on a trip, XP. See, tripping up is when you fall over something.
Luckily, XP hadn't hurt himself too much, just sprained his ankle, which meant he'd have to spend a few days resting. He wasn't too pleased, but at least it would keep him out of trouble for a while. Meanwhile, I couldn't be bothered to sort out all my dirty washing and stuff, so I thought I'd have a look to see if I could find a way to save my sick plant. Right, let's see. Plant. What are plants? Where plants like to grow? Wildlife gardening and fascinating facts. Okay, I'll do what are plants?
There are many thousand different types of plant in the world, from little grasses to enormous trees. But all flowering plants have a few things in common. They use light energy and gases from the air to make more plant. These will show you what all plants share.
Let's try this one first.
Leaves take in air and light from the sun. Sometimes they help protect the plants from animals. These holly leaves have sharp prickles to stop animals from eating them. Roots anchor the plant to the ground and allow it to take up water. They grow downwards, searching for water and nutrients.
What about this one?
The stem is full of water and holds the plant up like a human backbone. The biggest and strongest stems are the trunks of trees. Plants produce flowers to make seeds. To make a seed, the flower must be pollinated. To do this, the pollen part of one flower travels to the seed-making part of another flower. The pollen fertilizes the plant and a seed grows. Then the seeds are scattered. Each of the seeds can grow into a new plant. All plants like to grow in soil because the soil contains small amounts of substances called minerals that help keep the plant healthy. Plants make their own food and build their own plant bodies. They make their leaves, stems, roots, and flowers using water, gases from the air, and sunlight.
Okay, so plants need water, air and sunlight, do they? I wonder how much. Maybe I could think of an experiment to find out. Next day, I went to visit XP. He seemed cheerful enough despite his sprained ankle. I said I'd see him later because I was going to start some experiments I'd planned. I'd got permission to go to a special farm where our school went on visits. And when lessons were finished, I went on over and had a look around. Then I headed over to start my experiment in the greenhouse. I wanted to see how much water and light my plant actually needed, so I was going to do one experiment with each. For the light experiment, I was going to use 3 plants, all the same size in the same size pot and in the same soil. I put one in bright sunlight and one where there was no sunlight, and one in a shady corner where there was some sunlight.
I'll water this one.
For the water experiment, I had another 3 plants, the same size in the same size pots and in the same soil. I was going to give one a normal amount of water, one no water, and one I was going to give lots of water. I didn't want to harm them, so I was only going to do the experiment for a week. It took a week for XP's ankle to get better, but he was soon back on his feet again.
Sarah! 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 It's me! Look, I'm better. I'm better now.
Wow, the space invalid is out of his sick bed. Oh, don't overdo it, otherwise you'll sprain it again. Oh, got you a get well present.
Oh, how kind. Would you like one?
No, thank you.
Do you know, while I had to rest my leg, I invented something.
What is it?
Well, I'm not quite sure. I haven't used it yet. I've joined some bits together from my Smart Specs and my Scan Do. I call it my Specs Do.
Don't you think Smart Scan would have been better?
You're right. Smart Scan it is then.
What does it actually do, though?
Well, I haven't found out yet. Do you think you could take it and test it for me?
Oh, wow, I'd love to.
And what about that poor plant? You know, the one I fed humans food to.
Well, it seems to be picking up a bit now.
Picking up what? Did it drop something?
No, picking up just means that it's getting better. I dropped it off at my Auntie Pat's house. She's the one in our family with green fingers.
Green fingers, eh? Reminds me of my mother's uncle. Of course, they were green all over on his planet.
No, Auntie Pat's fingers aren't coloured green.
But you said...
Yeah, I know what I said. Having green fingers just means that you're very good with plants. I give up. I might as well be talking to the trees. You really do not know anything about plants, do you, XP? Why don't you go and do one of your inquiries on them?
Okay. See you later. Disconnecting. Express -321. Activate Smart Specs. Access Scan Do. Audio on.
Activated. Scanning. You are at a plant research station.
Investigating plants. Scan to assist.
Assisting.
What are those plants over there with the flowers on?
These plants are peas.
Well, what are those plants over there with the green things growing on them?
These plants are peas.
Huh? Oh, prompt to assist.
Assisting. Suggest you seek human advice.
Oh, all right. Express -321.
This is Anthony. He is a plant scientist.
My name's XP. I wonder if you can help me. Can you tell me, what are all these plants?
These are peas.
I don't understand what... All right, well, if they're all peas, I mean, why have these ones got flowers on them?
Well, most plants have flowers on them at some stage in their life. Inside the flower, we have a pollen-making part and a seed-making part. When pollination occurs, the pollen from the pollen-making part touches onto the seed-making part, and the seed begins to develop inside little tiny pods. About 3 weeks later, the pods begin to get bigger and the seeds inside swell, and at this stage you can see there's about 6 or 7 peas inside that pod. After another week or so, the peas are large enough to eat.
Oh, all right, well, thanks very much.
But by the end of the summer, the pod begins to dry and the seeds dry as well, until they reach the stage where the pods split open and the dry seeds fall onto the soil. They stay there all winter. In the spring, when it's warmer, the seeds, which are sitting on the soil, begin their germination process. And this is when the seeds, first of all, swell as they take the water from the soil, and inside the seed itself, the young shoot and root begin to grow. And then the root presses down into the soil and holds the young seedling firmly. The shoot grows up towards the light. After about 6 or 7 weeks, the leaves begin to grow larger and the plant gets taller. Inside, at the top of the plant, the young flower buds develop. And then by early summer, the flowers are open and the whole of the plant's life cycle has been completed.
Activate smart specs. Prompt to confirm.
Confirming. To pollinate a flower, the pollen part of the flower must touch the seed-making part. Then a seed grows. The seed dries and falls on the ground. In the spring, the seed swells with moisture and will germinate. A root and a stem grow from the seed. The plant grows until it produces new flowers, ready to make seeds once more.
Thank you very much for explaining that. That's given me an idea.
It was time for me to finish my experiment before any of the plants died.
Okay.
So off I went to record the final results.
Right. The bright light plant is scorched. And the plant that had no light at all has gone all pale. And the plant that had some light is healthy. Okay, let's check the water experiment. The normal watering plant is healthy. The plant that had no water at all is crispy. The plant that had lots of water has gone curly. I should really do the experiment again to see if all the results are the same the second time round, but I can do that another day. All I know is that this plant needs some but not too much water, and some but not too much light. Know how I can rescue my plant now?
XP connecting Sarah. XP connecting Sarah.
Hello?
That smart scan was quite a gadget. It even worked as a telephone. XP told me he'd got a surprise for me. To make up for giving my favourite plant food poisoning was how he explained it. It meant I'd have to go over to him, because it was too big for him to bring to me. So, using the old smart scan to show me the way, off I went.
And that's why I'm here now.
Nearly ready, Sarah. Have you finished with your plants?
Yeah. I found out that plants need the right amount of water and sunlight in order to grow properly. What about you?
I found out that flowering plants have to be pollinated to produce seeds, and that the seeds have to germinate, and that's how we get new plants.
I'll tell you one thing that's bothering me, though. If plants are living things and they need air, then how do they breathe?
That's a good question. I'll help you investigate. But first, here's the plant I promised you. Look, it's got fruit and flowers and seeds and leaves of all different sorts. There's lemons,
They're not all
bananas.
supposed to be growing on the same tree at the same time, XP. Ugh! There is plastic! XP, are you eating a plastic banana?
Oh, no, this is my lunch. I brought some with me.
But the tree is plastic.
Yes, it's a special plant, like I promised you, Sarah.
Do you mean to say I've come all the way down here to collect a plastic tree? This is not the same, XP.
Well, never mind, Sarah. I'll have it for myself.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Then all your hard work wouldn't have been wasted.
I'm only afraid you've had a journey for nothing. It seems you've had a bit of a wasted...
Trip.